Shut up, the vests are vesting. I think I'd feel a bit naked. ASMR. It's tragic. Fresh. I'm gonna try and wean myself off of that shit. Alrighty, we are back. Don's headphones this time, so, oh my gosh. They've been moving shit around at every single thrift store that I go to.
This video format does include a variety of random pauses and distractions. Enjoy.
Anyways, we don't have headphones today, so I'm feeling a little bit more vulnerable, so you'll have to excuse me, but I've got some good questions, and I don't really have an agenda as to what we're thrifting for today, but let me figure this out. The angle was not the wide last time, it was too low. The original, and then we have Shein. So disappointing. I love the original. That's cute. Okay, so like I was saying, we don't really have like an agenda today. Oh my god, the sweater vests are slaying immediately. Immediately, yes. Oh my god. Gap. Okay, I need to simultaneously film a TikTok because if you guys aren't already following me, actually it's more Instagram that I've been posting these, but I'm on a huge vintage Gap kick, and I was gonna save this question for later, but a lot of people asked like what brands I'm currently thrifting. Okay, this is so cute. Shut up, the vests are vesting. I need to buy all these. I also want to start selling online, which was another major question that we need to get through, but I'm just so overwhelmed. There's so much good shit here today. Okay, so brands, I'm looking for Gap, and ironically, the Gap just must have read my mind because their new stuff is actually so good. It's like giving very much the 90s Gap that I love. A lot of it is like 100% cotton, just really good materials, really good like vintage fits, like that vest. So I don't even need to ramble on this that much more, but definitely, yeah, loving Gap. Loving, guess, I'm just trying to think of like the attainable brands that I can actually see finding at the thrift store. Because obviously there's the other ones that we don't find too much, like the designer bougie brands, but I wrote this down and I think this was gonna be the first question, but because we found that Gap, I was like, okay, we have to talk about it now. Guess 7 to 5 has been shocking me, surprisingly. Danier also now, because it's leather season. I think what I'm wearing is Danier, but I'm not too sure. That one's kind of cute. I wish I had a darn coupon today. But yeah, Danier is a Canadian brand, but really good for leathers. I feel like it's kind of comparable to Wilson's leather in the US, but Danier was like our go-to. I'm sure I'll find one soon and I'll point it out, but just like good classic vintagey leathers. Can't go wrong. Let's see, if I see any other brands that are inspiring me, I'll point them out because I know that could be like super helpful. LL Bean, I've seen a bit of that recently. Actually, I saw it more when I went to the US. It's not as common here. Oh. It's tragic. I really don't need shoes, and that was like a telling sign that I really don't need shoes. And I'm sorry, but I'm putting my microphone right in the middle because I chose to wear a jacket today. I chose to be fall spirit. But if we get any rustling, it's gonna destroy the video. I could just take my jacket off too, but I think I'd feel a bit naked. That's very cute. Okay. On the note of selling, a lot of you guys are asking me about selling, and it's crazy because I don't really consider myself a reseller. I consider myself like a thriftfluencer first. Thought I said something cute. Sorry. But I guess I have dabbled in that, and I was kind of an early adapter to Depop. I'm not gonna lie. I still remember my first sponsored video with Depop was like in 2017, and hardly anyone was on the app. So I guess that does kind of give me some street credit. But I'd say I have a lot of tips, and it's really kind of tricky because I hate to like be discouraging. Here's a good Danier jacket. Knew you'd find one. It's a little too long for me though. But if you are just thinking about getting into that kind of, oh my god. Okay. This store always has the jackets. Message me if you want to know where it is, because I don't like putting things out publicly. But I haven't been in a minute. This blanket. where was this last weekend when I needed thick blankets for the backyard? Getting into it, I would say like make sure you are super passionate about it. Like you're not just doing it because you see people making money off of it, because it is really, really saturated now. Saturated to the point where like there's even just so many platforms that you could be selling on, and I think that kind of makes it a little bit more difficult because you have to kind of research where your demographic would be. Whereas it kind of just used to be like Depop or Etsy, and it was a little bit more straightforward. So now you kind of got to put in that extra work, which is totally fine, but I feel like it makes it less accessible to do as like a side hustle, which it started off as for many people. I would also say like make sure you have a good collection of things ready to go. Kind of like you don't need to have one aesthetic, because I feel like we're all kind of at the point where we're blending like a bunch of different styles, but having like an overall vibe going to your page, like so you know you're going to reach a specific market, is a good idea. Yeah, that's kind of where I would say, like, don't be discouraged obviously, but just make sure you're kind of going in it with a little bit of a plan, because it's super expensive to buy clothes now, and just even to source them, to spend gas going out to stores and stuff like that. So you want to make sure you're in it for the right reasons, and that, you know, you see yourself enjoying it at the end of the day. If you're not enjoying it, there's really no point, and I don't think it's like a quick little moneymaker, if that makes sense. On the note of like tips and stuff, yeah, curating kind of a brand, kind of a vibe, kind of an aesthetic, knowing who you're shopping for, and if you already have clothes, like if you are like me, is this small? I'm confused. Or the small tops? I feel like I should go through all of these, small, medium. Like start off with just kind of selling what you have from your closet, maybe selling on Instagram, even if it's just a personal Instagram. And a good indication would be like if people in your personal life are trying to like figure out where you're shopping, where you're thrifting, they're complimenting your outfits and stuff like that, that's a good indication that other people will also want it. Because I think something that we all forget is like when you start a brand, of course, like your family and your friends are going to be there to hype you up. I feel like not many people are brutally honest these days anymore. So you're going to get support, which is good, but can also be bad just in case, like, you know, maybe you don't know what you're doing yet. You've quit your job, people are concerned. I think then opinions would be voiced. But I'm just kind of saying, like, it's good to have those people in your life that are kind of brutally honest with you from time to time, because getting into like a competitive business can be a little bit scary if you don't know exactly what you're doing. And this is kind of one of those things where there's not a ton of information available, so you do have to just wing it. But yeah, I'd say that's a good indicating factor. And if you're not really like around people that enjoy clothing as much as you do, then I would curate like a brand new Instagram or TikTok. I know someone said like, how can they do it without being present on social media? But the tough thing is like all these small businesses now are kind of cannibalizing each other, I would say, just because there's so many of them and there's so many reselling platforms. So you do kind of have to brand yourself and market yourself, and how people are doing that mostly is through social media, which is great because it's free. You just kind of have to spend the time on creating that content. But I think like if you're worried about people in your personal life seeing it and you don't really want to go that route, you can definitely just always create a separate new fresh account. You don't even need to tell anyone about it. So that's my advice there. Look at this stunning denier. It's men's though, so it's a little bit big. I feel like I need to find Daniel a good leather jacket. He's really been trusting my thrifting process recently, which we love. And I've been styling him in all his recent Instagram reels. So go check those out. Let me know if I'm doing a good job. But yeah, I think I need to keep my eyes peeled. And sometimes the men's leathers hit better than the women's. Like, this might have just been misplaced in full transparency. That's kind of cool. Maybe he'd like that. No, it's too new. Okay. Oh, maybe he'd like this. That's too small. Do I keep looking for men's? Some good sweaters. Ooh. This is great for the both of us. I keep finding old Adidas grails, you guys. Something's in the water, and it's kind of ironic because I feel like when these brands, stunning. Ooh, this is exactly what he would want. Oh, but it's, is it old? Hemp beer. I guess hemp was legal, just not weed. Okay, I know I just had 10 points that I just jumped over, but yeah. Oh, I think I was saying something about like how brands, when they're really relevant in like streetwear culture, they're usually hard to thrift. And I feel like Adidas is that right now, so it's an interesting little find. Maybe just because it was too expensive, but I will take it. It's a business expense. So people are always obviously asking for like thrifting tips, and I feel like I could go on an entire rant on this subject, and I feel like I do try and drop these for you guys. I need to take my jacket off, but maybe this is for like newer people. I'm very lucky that this is my job and I get to go during the weekdays. Like I'm here at 10 a.m. right when they open. And that's when I would definitely recommend going before it gets super busy and super picked over, and just, you know, usually they restock, I think, a lot during the morning time, and then it kind of dwindles after that. So obviously going like in the morning if you can, and going during the days and like the weekdays, but I understand that people have jobs and that's kind of virtually impossible for everyone. So I would say if you are working and can't make it out during the weekdays, just go like super early on a Saturday. I know it's kind of like not ideal to be getting up at the crack of dawn, but I don't even think the stores open that early. So just kind of go when they open, and I think you'd have a lot more success than going like in a Saturday afternoon when literally everyone and their mother is there. Obviously, things are kind of expensive, so you want to be like signing up for emails, getting the coupons, all that kind of good stuff, donating if you get coupons. Not all. Why can't I speak all of a sudden? Am I okay? I think I need some water. But I know not all stores do donation coupons. Those are kind of some just like generic tips. I feel like a lot of you guys know that already, but I'm here to inform you just in case you didn't. What else do I have in my tip toolbox? And yeah, if you're thrifting to like resell, just make sure you are utilizing those coupons and being smart about where you're going. I know a lot of people have ins at like rag bins and stuff like that, which is obviously going to be the cheapest, most economical way to thrift. But I think if you're just starting out, like, it's hard because you want to build up that inventory. But once you get to a point where you do have like a steady inventory, I'd say just be more selective about what you're thrifting. This is really cute, but not my style, but I can appreciate it. Cute. That's something, yeah, that I'm trying to do too, because I've realized I buy so many things thinking like, oh my gosh, this would be great to have it a pop-up one day, and then not everything sells, and I'm left with like a ton of inventory. And it doesn't have me second guessing if it was cute or not. It just, you know, maybe there wasn't enough time to like expose it to the right people, but it's kind of just made my thrifting trips like currently a little bit easier because I am more selective. I think I used to pick up so much hideous shit, even stuff that I bring into my own closet, and then I go to put it on and I'm like, this is so ugly. I would never even go to put it on because I'm like, I don't like this is so ugly. So just really getting the pieces that you know stand out, they're good quality brands, like they've got multiple factors working in their favor, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Just don't be like picking up anything because it's like, oh, that's Y2K, or like, I saw something like that on Depop. It's like, yes, maybe you did, but is it selling? Like, do you actually think it's cute? How would you wear it? Could you actually wear it? Like, that's another thing, wearability. I feel like so many things are just not even wearable these days, but like something like this, it's cute and wearable, but light pink isn't my shade, so I'm gonna leave it because it's also $10. So we know we can do better on this thrift trip. And even like those vests that I picked up at the beginning, I'm like, yeah, those will do. But even this, what is this? This is kind of stunningly cute. Like, that's cute. That's more unique to me than that other pink lacy top, which was kind of overpriced in my opinion. If that top was like $4, I'd get it, no doubt. Oh yeah, and on the note of thrifting tips, always check those new racks, because that's stuff that's generally never been touched, never been seen. It's fresh, fresh, fresh. I feel like we've gone through a lot of the tips already. Someone asked about TV shows, so I feel like we'll get into that because TV and music are obviously like a huge inspo for me when thrifting, and that's kind of what sparked the whole like thrifting for celebrity series, because I don't know, I feel like pop culture is kind of in like a fun place again. I feel like it was really dull for a while there. Obviously, you know, the last few years made it difficult to be exciting, but I'm really like into style, and I touched on this in the last video, but I feel like a lot of stylists these days, like the ones that I like, are working with a lot of vintage. So that makes it even more exciting because I feel like I can relate for once versus just everything being super expensive, designer, like small indie brands that no one's heard of or no one can get because they're like only in Europe or whatever. So I've been trying to like be more involved in pop culture again, if that makes sense, like not in a toxic way, because I feel like it can get toxic and like very all-consuming super quickly. So that's something you want to keep in mind, but I do think it's good to stay like relevant, especially if you're trying to start a little business, you know what I'm saying? Like, would Olivia Rodrigo wear this? She's into purple. It's Le Chateau, but I just don't think it's cute enough again. It's not quite cute enough. If that was like feathers, I'd be like, yes, 1000%. But it's not, so we're leaving it behind. Easy, leave behind. But yeah, in terms of like celebrities, I feel like you guys know who I'm into, who I'm inspired by. There's another one. But TV shows, I'm kind of all over the map in that regard. I wrote some of them down and I was like, oh my gosh, there's really no like genre. Like that's a special item.
You're a big guy.
That's special. I need to be careful with her. She's definitely gonna be delicate. One standout show, I watched this like a few months ago, but Daniel and I watched it really fast, and I feel like some people might not have seen it yet because it's still like a newer season, but we really liked, I don't know where that came from, Better Call Saul. We also watched Breaking Bad, so I feel like if you've watched that, you need to watch Better Call Saul. We never watched like the original seasons, so we kind of just binged it all at once, and we both really, really, really liked it. It was good drama. It wasn't too gory or anything, but it was just like good entertainment. And then on the other side of the spectrum, we have Real Housewives of New York. I was not a reality TV person before COVID, but then I kind of had to get into it for my mental sanity. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of got into some toxic, silly shows over the last couple of years, and am I trying to not watch as much? Yeah, definitely, because I feel like they're not doing anything good for my brain. Nor do I relate to these people, nor do they inspire me, but I don't know, I thought Janet Lyons being on New York City would be kind of interesting, but I just kind of feel bad for her. I feel like it's not the show for her, and I don't know, I didn't know much about the woman besides that, you know, she worked for J. Crew for a really long time, so I'm learning a bit, but it's just a crazy show. And I wish I didn't watch it. That's the moral of that story. So not recommending, but if you're, you know, in a rut and you just need something to put on in the background, then fine. So no judgment zone here, but I'm gonna try and wean myself off of that shit. Yeah, I do watch a lot of bad reality TV shows, but like I can't get into The Bachelor. It's just too contrived after watching Love Island, which was like the first reality show that I ever got into. The Bachelor just seems so fake, and I never watched The Bachelor before. Bachelor, Bachelorette franchise, you know what I'm talking about. So, I don't know. I did watch Love Island USA. You know, proud of Bergie for making it all the way. Sorry if that's a spoiler. Is this cool? Like, would I wear this ever? Potentially. It's got potential. Yeah, that was crazy. I find the US season's not always super entertaining, but I actually quite enjoyed this one. So that was a pleasant surprise. What else have I been watching? Only Murders in the Building. I love that show, but I do find this season is a little bit like predictable so far, which I kind of hate. I feel like all these like rushed shows once they get to season 3 or 4, they kind of just become like not as exciting anymore, which I hate. Like, I'd rather them take a long time than have like a really good comeback, but it's okay. Still gonna watch, see what happens, see who the murderer is. I have my own guesses, but let me know what you guys think if you're watching. I feel like I haven't grabbed anything good in a minute. I feel like there's something else I've been watching. I always forget. Gilmore Girls, obviously. Like, I feel like that's my going to sleep show because it's just so calming. I don't need to pay too much attention. I only ever watched it for the first time last year, which is pretty crazy because the pilot was actually filmed very close to where I am right now. And I feel like I need to go on like a TikTok there or something this year because it's such a cute little Stars Hollow-y vibe of a town. Those are pretty good, but these will not fit me. They're like a vintage extra small. Ugh, damn, I like those. But again, I feel like I have enough cargos, so it's fine. Yeah, we love a good Gilmore Girls moment. They're always inspiring me, so that's a good show that I can like take inspo from. Oh, the button on these Esprit pants is sick. I've never seen anything like that before. Look at that. Woo. ASMR. Oh, that's okay. I'm just gonna grab this. This was in the pants, but it's actually a cargo skirt with the toggles. It's vintage smart set. Pants are always so hard, but I feel like I've been getting a good little collection and I know my pant size again. So we're doing well. Oh yeah, I tried watching The Bear because I heard such mixed opinions about it, but it's funny because it's like no one wants to talk shit about it in personal, like in real life, but everyone's like, oh, it just takes a really long time. Oh, I see a stunning coat. I need to go over here. They go, it takes a really long time to get into. Like, I didn't get into it until season 2, and I'm like, does that even make it a good show then at that point? Like, my opinion, no. We're back to where we started because I saw something cool come out. And it's Damier, but it's 60 bucks. And I also have something similar to this, but she's cute. She's here. But anyways, back to The Bear. I think I watched like 5 episodes, which if a show wasn't hooking me on like episode 3, usually I give up. But since everyone said this was like a slow burn, I gave it a little bit of extra time. But still, I was like, why are people so cute? I'm like, why does everyone care to watch it if it's just not a good show? Like, I think the acting is kind of subpar from some of the main characters. And I just don't really get it, to be entirely honest. But I don't know, if I give up, don't be mad at me. And if it's your favorite show, I'm sorry, but I just think a good show gets you from the very start. BB Lang jeans. I really like this wash. We need to bring back this wash. This is a very nostalgic wash to me. Some good kilts. This is cute. Is this smart set also? I feel like it's giving that vibe. Little butterflies. I don't need this, but oh, it's $4.99. Maybe I do. It's the cheapest price of the day so far. I've been buying so much plaid. It's kind of unhealthy. Even though I'm calling this like thrift talk, you guys can ask me other questions. Not just about thrifting. I just want it to be like we're thrifting and we're talking. So someone asked about like relationship advice and wisdom. They didn't give any like context, but if you know me, you know that Daniel and I have been together for 10 years now. Crazy times. And I just feel like, I don't know, we've learned a lot about ourselves, obviously, throughout this whole entire process and reflected on certain things. And I think like key advice that I would say is just, you know, compromise. If you really love someone, I think you'll know, and to both grow, I think you kind of need to compromise, if that makes sense. Like, not compromise in terms of like settling. I think that's where a lot of people hear advice like that and they get really put off because it's like, no, I shouldn't have to settle for anyone, which is very true. But just know that like, if you both don't meet at the perfect time in life, like, you're gonna have to both grow, and you're gonna have to be comfortable with like going through those motions together and just being like okay with doing your own thing maybe, and like helping each other out, and also realizing where the gap. Ugh, I had like a feeling this would be $4 too, but the Gap, come on Gap, sponsor me. We could do something amazing. I'm manifesting that. Just knowing that if you think someone else needs to work on things, that probably means you yourself also need to, because I feel like us as humans, we're always constantly like needing to work on ourselves and self-improve. So it's not like a bad thing. It just means that like, don't go into something thinking that you're perfect and everyone else is shit. Because I feel like that happens a lot of the times, and it's like, oh, I don't know. Literally nobody's perfect. I hope kind of some of that was helpful, but everyone's situation is gonna be different. I'm very lucky that I think Daniel is amazing, and we've never for like 1 second considered not being together and growing together. I feel like that's part of like the amazing process. It's really cool to see like how far we've come and how we've helped each other and how much more we're capable of doing together. So we've been through so much. So that's my little hot take there. Oh yes, I remembered one major key. I feel like it's being okay with doing things alone, or if not alone, like just without your significant other. I think it's super normal to like get into a relationship and your partner could be your best friend, should be your best friend. But I think like growing, you need to learn how to do things and like have separation, because at the end of the day, if you're like 100% with each other all the time, that's not leaving much room for growth and like for excitement. It's so exciting. Like I love going out and doing something and then coming back and getting like to tell Daniel about everything, because he wasn't there for it, if that makes sense. Like he wasn't there in a good way, and goes both ways. Like I get home and he could tell me what happened in his day and like what's new with that, which I think is really exciting and healthy, to be able to do things separately, be able to like travel separately, and just go through life and have your own identity and just be best friends, but have that like distance that helps ultimately bring you together. I feel like I just made that sound more complicated because my camera was like, yeah, what are you talking about, girl? So at this point, I was looking for a spot to give you guys a little goodbye, but my camera actually was full, so it just kind of cut off. But I want to say thank you guys for watching this video again. I hope you are continuing to enjoy this format. I actually just posted on my Instagram story today, as this video is going live, asking questions for the next one, because I'm planning on filming one very, very soon. So if you're interested in getting involved, I want to talk about more things other than just thrifting, because I feel like I've covered most of those bases, but like relationships, love that subject, love all the subjects. So feel free to go and give your input over there. But thanks again. I'll see you in the next one.